again, very thankful to get the win last week. Texas State did an awesome job of staying in that game and really making it competitive. We were able to jump out on them with some miscues that they had, and they fought their way back. We let them back in it with our 2 turnovers and let them back in it. They took the lead. We were able to go ahead and get that score before half. And then it was basically match each other in the second half. But when it was all said and done, I thought the offense did a tremendous job in that fourth quarter of, drive for a touchdown, a drive for a field goal, and then the drive to put it away. We gave up some explosive plays on defense. Feel confident that we can get those types of things corrected. Looking forward to moving on to this week and playing Army. We jumped into them a little bit last night, and then obviously all day today. This is an interesting game because very similar defenses. Both our defenses play the same thing, and obviously we're both option offenses, but a different way. Them being under center option and us being shotgun option. So a lot of familiarity with both sides of the ball. So really looking forward to this and looking forward to the challenge. I know our guys are excited to go up to a historical place. And, I wish we wasn't in the middle of a pandemic because I think we could take advantage more of this trip to get the historical part of it. But not going to have that opportunity, but definitely looking forward to going up there and playing.
Signal seems kind of bad. You were cutting out a lot. And I think we've had some issues on our end too. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yeah. What's your relationship like with Coach Monken?
Coach Monken and I didn't really know Coach Monken before, as far as on a personal basis before I got back in 2013. I came to Georgia Southern in 2003 when Coach Seawalt was the head coach and Coach Monken had already left and went with Coach Johnson to Navy. But when I did come at that point to coach the slot backs, Coach Monken was a guy that I talked to a good bit, to try to get me kind of caught up on coaching slot backs. And then, obviously we've got a lot of friends that are the same. And, so throughout the years, in 2013, when he had an opening on staff, Brent Davis, Mitch Ware, those guys, really vouched for me to Coach Monken to hire me in 2013 to come coach the wide receivers and be the recruiting coordinator. And then obviously got to spend the year with him that year and got to know him pretty well. And, obviously then he went on to Army and I ended up staying here with Coach Fritz. But again, I'm really bad about it once you kind of get apart and you're not on the same staff. I probably don't stay in touch with people as much as I should. So Coach Monken and I have talked a couple times. We've seen each other a few times at the convention and all that type of stuff, but probably don't talk to him near enough. And I will say this: I'm very thankful to Coach Monken because giving me the opportunity to come back to Georgia Southern, which was awesome the first time I was here, and then have the opportunity to come back and be a part of it. Man, very thankful for that opportunity that he gave me.
What do you think of Army?
I think Army is very tough. I think they're very disciplined. I mean, it's going to sound a little bit like what I say our identity is, because they definitely work. And obviously, I know what type of program Coach Monken runs, and I know how well his coaches coach and how they dot I's, cross T's, and they have their guys prepared and ready to play. So watching them on film, it's just very disciplined football, and you see, I think it is a little different than Georgia Southern, obviously, because it is a service academy. But those guys play really, really hard, and they're very, very disciplined when they play.
Coach, is there a little part of you that would have loved to play at Ole Miss and kind of tested your guys against an SEC school, and you kind of feel like that's a missed opportunity? You love to play Army, but is there a little wishful thinking there?
I don't think that I really think about that too much. I mean, I think it is important when we get the opportunity to play SEC teams. A lot of guys look forward to that opportunity. But I don't think anybody looks at it as, man, I wish we were playing Ole Miss and not Army. I think that, when you start thinking about Army football and what Army stands for, and just how long they've been playing football, and just the history that goes along with it. I think it was definitely a great replacement because, I mean, it's something that our guys are very familiar with. And I think it's a great opportunity for them to go up and see a very historical place.
Coach, you run similar defenses, you run similar offenses. The coaching staffs know each other extremely well. With all the similarities in a game like this, how do you find the edge? How do you find that separating factor?
Well, we might need to find the edge in about 30 minutes because I don't know how long the game's going to last. Not going to be many possessions. They're going to want to control the ball. We're going to want to control the ball. And then obviously defenses have got to be really locked in, got to be really disciplined on their assignments and their keys and all that type of stuff. I do think the more disciplined, the more tough football team will win this game. And that's what we've challenged our guys to this week. Can you go up there and be more disciplined, more tough than Army?
Do you try to throw any different wrinkles in, considering the fact that you guys are both very similar?
I do think it's important to have some change ups for sure. But you can't wholesale change anything. But I do think it's important that you do have some change ups ready because obviously they're going to have studied film. They're going to know what your tendencies are. They're going to know what you like to call in certain situations and all that type of stuff. So I do think self-scouting is very important. It's always important, but I think it's really important in this game that you self-scout yourself and then you make some change ups that may catch them off guard. I think that's important. Defensively, what you don't want to do is get away from who you are and what you do. There's a lot of teams that when they go play option football teams, they change everything they do to play the option. I don't think that's probably the wise thing for us to do. I think we need to be who we are, but understand how to play the option with what we do on defense.
Coach, with so many of games being canceled with the virus, and it's such a big thing, have you guys been able to enjoy 6 wins?
The one thing that I will always do, regardless of if it's an ugly W or if it's an awesome W, I'm going to enjoy it. Now, as a coach, I'm going to put it away really quickly because you got to move on to the next one because you're only as good as your next game. I told the guys the other day, man, it's great to get win number 6, no question. Proud to be 6-2 because we could easily be 4-3. We could easily be 1-5. We could easily be 7-1. So being 6-2 is definitely a blessing right now. But we can't be satisfied with 6, and we can't assume that 6 is enough because I understand that everybody in the country is bowl eligible this year, regardless of what your win-loss record is. But there's not going to be enough bowl games to go around. And so your resume is going to be important. And, we've challenged our guys to understand that we're going into our last stretch of the season. So this is the 4th quarter of our season. And we got to go finish it out, these 4 games, one game at a time, and then go play overtime and play a bowl game, so we want to try to finish as best we can. At Georgia Southern, man, it's important that you win in November and December. There's no question. So I think that's the big motivation. That's the big challenge for us. And, just looking forward to seeing what we can do on this stretch and this run.
Coach, you guys feed off a lot of emotions. It seems like, in a lot of the big games, especially the teams like Louisiana, App, Troy, when you guys are up and they're up for the games, they're ready. Some of these other ones, I don't know if it's just an aberration here or there or what. How do you feel about their mindset this week going into Army, and how much is it important to get them to get that juice and to get that emotion out of them for this game?
Well, I'll correct you a little bit. We don't feed off emotion. We actually feed off energy. We talk about energy over emotion. It's all about our energy, and it's all about what we bring. I was actually very happy with the energy we brought to this last game. I thought that the sideline was really, really good, very, very locked in. I thought the offense and defense was very locked into the ball game. I thought it was a really good start. The two turnovers hurt us, which then got Texas State back into it. But I thought our guys did really. One thing that I really saw from the game film is how our guys responded to each of the adversities that came up in that game. We always responded to it. We never went and hit our heads and didn't want to go get it done. So I don't expect our guys to go up to Army and not be energized and ready to go. I mean, I think they're hungry. I think that they're not satisfied. We've been talking about it's never good enough. And that's the way it is at Georgia Southern. At Georgia Southern, you're 6-2 and people still aren't happy. And that's just the way it is. And so we got to understand that it just never is good enough, and we're only as good as our next game. So we better bring the energy, and we better understand what the game's going to be about, how physical and how tough it's going to be. Is that everything y'all got? One other thing I forgot to say it in my opening statement. I was just going to give a update on Chase Hancock. Had a dislocation at the lower part of his leg and ankle. It's really very similar to the Bo Johnson injury. He will have surgery on it. He's going to be another 4 to 6 week guy in that. So not real sure if we will get him back this season or not. It's an unfortunate injury, and unfortunately, it's also at the tight end position again. And so, really good, awesome kid. Him and Bo, both awesome dudes, man, that do a really good job for us, and they'll both be missed. But just want to make sure I updated y'all on Chase. All right, thank y'all. GATA.